if you can list 5 things a person needs to have, in order to start up a successful startup business, what would they need to do or have?
Okay, so I feel like first of all, you need to be passionate, really passionate, because there are times that you'll be tired and you would just want to give up. We've been doing this for almost 3 years before we actually like have something meaningful going on. And
Wow.
trust me, we would have given up if not for the fact that we are so patient and we're passionate. And number two, I would say that when you're trying to start a company, make sure that um, you're actually trying to solve a problem. Sometimes people want to go into something because they have a hobby and they think it's a business. Yeah, it's okay if you have a side business, that brings passive income or something that just that you can go to get money from. It's okay, but if you're actually trying to build a company, you need to look for an idea that would actually scale, something that people really want or businesses really need, you know. And number three would be that you have to research, like make sure you're you're studying. Like I'm not saying studying for an exam, but you need information. Information is key. As a startup, there are pecs out there. There are information that you can get that can help your company. And number four is that which also like ties into number three is that you need to do customer interviews regardless of the industry you're trying to get into. You need to interview your customers so that you would not just be making stuffs out of your head, like you're trying to build a product out of your head because you feel like well, I think people need this. Like you need to like literally interview like at least about 20 customers there, and so that when you're trying to build it, that is if you're doing like for example a technology company, if you're trying to build a feature or anything, you would understand that people really need this, you know. And I don't know if I have number five, but I would say obviously commit whatever you're doing to God. Like just like startups are hard. Like you cannot do this by yourself. And I understand why startups fail, because all of these things that we've gone through, it's I would say that it's God that has been holding us down. So I think that the main and the biggest advice is just make sure you put God in whatever you're doing, because He's the one that can inspire you. He's the one that can show you what you need to do, the steps you need to take.
That's great. That's great. Could you explain more about the customer interview? Like, how would you go about, you know, interviewing customers?
Yeah. So for example, if you're trying to I'll just use a technology business as an idea. Like you're trying to create a technology company, and because you feel like, oh, this will be good for these people, you might be building the wrong thing. So you will physically try to talk to people and see if they've experienced that problem before. Like you speak to people. For example, I've seen, like, let's say you are a lawyer, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you've been practicing law, and there are some documentation and there are some things that you feel like can be automated, like that let's say like templates, you have templates, but you feel like because you need to sometimes it's not a one size fits all, like you can edit it for as a case by case, like you can edit the document for different people. You can try your best to because you have that, you've understand that idea, does not mean that if you want to write a software like for that kind of documentation problem, it does not mean it's going to scale into a $1 billion company or a successful business, right? But you can ask other lawyers that, oh, do you go through this problem? And maybe by the time you're interviewing them and you get a feedback, oh, yeah, of course I do. And you ask another person till you get to like the 20th person, then oh, I think this is a general problem. You think, oh, this can be used even outside the United States. So you interviewing people, you'll be able to get information, and you document all of those information. And even if you cannot write the software, that is, even though you cannot code, you can look for a programmer, like, or a co-founder, and you can just try to do the MVP, which is the minimal viable product first, to test out the concept. When you get traction, then you can scale the business, and of course it can become something big. So customer interview is very important, and the customer interview can be of course used in several ways, but the illustration I just made is just to make you understand that you have an idea in your head does not mean that you have a business at hand, but you need to interview people to actually know that you're building a company as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
a side hustle or a hobby.